I'm Warner Campos, and I'm your first negative constructive. In contention one, subpoint A, the affirmative would like has said that Syria has used chemical weapons, and yes, we agree that Syria has used chemical weapons, but we would like to say that the evidence by the UN and the United States has failed to point out who has used the chemical weapons. In subpoint B, they said that Syria is breaking international law by using chemical weapons. Well, by UN charter, they say that a country can only go into war by being provoked. The United States is not being provoked by the use of chemical weapons in Syria, by the Damascus attack. So we would also be breaking international law, which I argue is very hypocritical. In subpoint C, the affirmative has stated that U.S. credibility will be weakened if we don't respond. What they failed to do is say what type of response is needed in that subpoint. Science will not only help to destroy Assad's stockpile of chemical weapons. CNN Dirk van Vandenberg, who's president of the Delft University of Technology. He was also the ambassador of China and has worked in the UN. The quote says, "Indeed, in the case of Syria, science will not only help destroy the country's stockpile of chemical weapons, but also played a major role in providing irrefutable evidence that they were used in the first place. Remarkably, technology now allows us to detect complex chemicals through satellite measurements in area where conflict is taking place. In addition to computing the gases that enable these chemicals to be dispersed in the first place." In some point, E, Iran states that, the affirmative states that Iran will spill that if we don't attack, fight will spill out over the country in that region. So we'd like to say that Iran that is just a speculation. There is no clear-cut evidence in that the spillover will happen in the Middle East. Contention 2, the affirmative would like to say that that their plan will prevent loss of American life. In subpoint A, they're saying that this is not a world that we can accept with the chemical weapons. We agree that this is not a world that we can accept where we can, that's chemical weapons, but I would like to point out that the deterrence of Assad is already happening through diplomacy, and that diplomacy can happen through several different ways, and that's already happening right now. In subpoint B, they're saying that U.S. can prevent the future use of chemical weapons. Right now, we already, the same thing as I stated in subpoint A, we're already doing our best with the diplomacy that is taking place through the Syrian ally Russia, with the deterrence of Assad's chemical stockpiles and us getting information through that. And subpoint C in contention 2, the affirmative stated that the ban has worked since that the chemical ban has worked since World War II, and we would like to agree with that. But the issue with that is that it still is not deterring countries and dictators from using the chemical weapons, as we saw in August with Assad using the chemical weapons. But we feel that a limited strike would not only create displeasure with the United States, but would also that the ban would also dang, I forgot. I now stand open for cross-examination.
You said in response to my contention 2, subpoint B is subpoint A and B, and even C. You said that we're doing our best to diplomatically resolve the problem in Syria.
Yes.
So that means, what does that mean? What are they doing? What kind of diplomacy?
Well, we had we have information that Russia is working with Syria to get a list of their chemical stockpiles in Syria.
So get a list of chemical stockpiles.
Yes.
In that time, is it possible they could use chemical weapons again?
It's possible.
What's to stop them from using the chemical weapons?
Well, as we can tell from right now, the diplomacy is actually working because from what you're saying, what's stopping them from using the chemical weapons, they could have already used the chemical weapons, but we have yet to see that they're using the chemical weapons already.
They have used the chemical weapons in the initial attack on August 21st.
Yes, and that's what
But-
we're responding to.
Yes, but there were the laws to prevent that from happening before, weren't there?
Yes, the international law.
Okay, so what's new laws gonna do if they already, broke that law?
Through diplomacy, we're actually sending a message that not only is the United States not having to attack the country based on their actions, but we can do it through a different means, a more modern means, not through just caveman means, which is just attacking and going out and killing more people.
But we're still placing laws to prevent them, right? There's nothing else that holds them. There's no, if we say we do something and we don't do it, how is that gonna, like?
Well,
How's that gonna resolve?
we currently are doing something, and that is the diplomatic
Yeah.
resolution.
Yes,
So you stating that we're not doing anything is false.
Yes, we are doing something, but it has proven that diplomacy hadn't worked in the past, so what makes them, work now?
Time.